Hopefully that's wrong. Jesus Christ.
We're riding down the boulevard. We're riding through the dark night. We're half a tank and empty heart, pretending we're in love, but it's never enough. Not as the sirens fill the lonely air. Oh, how did we get here now, babe? We see a storm is closing in.
So, GC day one. Got these two Muppets with me. You boys should stick to the cycling, I think. Yeah, I think you need to call it a day.
Try and bag a rally at least.
Yeah, come on, boys. At least like have something worth filming. Oh, they're getting better. Oh, they're playing up to the camera.
Oh, there we go.
That was the best so far. Yeah, so we're doing the Sora climb and Serenity. Got these two guys with me. There they are. Ollie Big Legs and Charlie Bashed Up Legs. Anyway, we'll see how we go. It's looking a little bit windy, but it's not that warm, not that cold. Better than the UK. Here we go. Hi, Colin here from Tried and Tested Cycle Coaching. Day one of Gran Canaria, a little January training camp with Mr. Ollie Curd, Charlie Court. Just come down the Serenity descent and now we're going to go straight back up it. Weather's good. A little bit windy this morning, but actually I don't think we could ask for better conditions now. So yeah, looking forward to the next 5 days, try and get some good mileage in and test the legs. Let's test it. Just got back from the ride, pretty decent roads other than maybe a couple of sections that were I'd say rather gravelly. But the other issue we had was a closed road due to landslip, so we basically just did an out and back about 60 miles, banged in a few sprint efforts. Well, I tried to. Can't really sprint for toffee, but Ollie managed to find 1600 watts, which is pretty impressive really this early in the year. So yeah, things looking good for him, but all in all a good first day on the island. First impressions of GC, it's pretty good. Reminds me obviously a lot of Tenerife, but quite a bit more riding to do before I make my mind up which is the better island. Still pretty fond of Tenerife, to be honest, but I can see why people come here as well. Obviously same climate, pretty windy today actually, if you have a look at that, but I'll take this weather over what we've got in the UK at the moment. Sub-zero, snowing, just not a good place to be. Anyway, let's test this.
We got no time. Seconds or minutes are just passing by. We better hurry. Let's make it right now. Cause maybe tomorrow I won't be this time, and that makes me worry. But I hope that you remember all this we'll live together. Cause you are the love of my life. And I gotta ask, don't let this moment go. Don't let we just waste it. I'll kiss you
In the words of Ali G, easy now. Day 2 of GC, tried and tested training camp. Just did 4 lots of 10 at threshold. Just working our way up the top of the climb. Legs not feeling too bad. Loving the GC roads. So day 2. Slightly out of breath actually, but the air's probably quite thin up here. But yeah, just going into a descent. Better put the camera away. Let's test it. Now on day 3 of the Gran Canaria training camp. We're at the top of Pico Las Nueves. Stunning view from up here. Probably about 12,000 feet of climbing today. It's going to be probably well over 6 hours of riding. And just a very steady endurance day. Time in the saddle, working on the fueling, testing the tank, and just taking in the breathtaking scenery. So far, it's a great place to ride a bike, and you can see my other favourite place to ride a bike, which is Tenerife. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, got a really cold descent to do now. It's about 2 degrees, so we're looking forward to that. Got the jacket on this time, unlike yesterday where I absolutely froze. So let's test it. Just finished day 4 of the tried and tested training camp in Gran Canaria. Chill day today, just a couple of hours. Went down the coast to Puerto Rico. Really nice road actually, follows the coast along, so you get good views of the sea and just generally the landscape, which is beautiful. Again, like I said, nothing too hard. Yesterday was a pretty long day in the saddle, and the day before we stepped on the pedals a bit harder with some threshold type work. So today was just all about just spinning the legs out, getting some recovery, and restoring energy levels for the next 2 days, which will be another long day, probably tomorrow, and then similarly a 4-hour ride I think for the last day with some sort of tempo sweet spot type efforts, just to finish off hopefully a really good week out in the sun, away from the dreary UK weather. But on the whole, really enjoying the trip to Gran Canaria. I think very comparable to Tenerife in terms of the terrain. I'd say probably a little bit more friendly getting out the door as opposed to Tenerife, where you're literally going quite hard and you're in the little ring from the get-go. So yeah, really enjoying it here, and hopefully we'll test the legs a bit more over the next 2 days. So yeah, let's test it. That's going to be nice, that little treat. I like it. That's good. That's really good. So now into day 5 of the GC training camp. We're a man down. Ollie's sick and he's missing some glorious weather. Charlie's just down there, and we're not even halfway through this ride and already we're cooked. But We're here to test ourselves. As the name says, tried and tested. Let's go, let's test it. So it's the last day of the camp today, day 6. Feeling pretty shattered actually. Slept better last night, but the night before I didn't sleep well at all. And one of the guys with us, Ollie's not been well, so yeah, I don't know whether there's something doing the rounds, but yesterday's ride was a long day in the saddle. Pretty much did a lap of the island, negotiated some tricky bits of road, several tunnels. The locals were actually closing some of the lanes in the tunnels for us, which was quite helpful, but also a little bit daunting riding through those. Luckily we had rear lights on, but yeah, I can really feel yesterday's ride in the legs. The HRV score is pretty low this morning, so that's backing up how I feel. So yeah, not sure how I'll perform today, but it's the last day, and we'll just try and make the most of it and see what we can do. Not sure if Ollie's going to ride yet. Charlie's probably still asleep, so wait for him, see what he wants to do. But I think the original plan was for around 90 odd miles, and yeah, again, quite a bit of elevation gain, and just you get that time in the saddle really. You know, at this stage, we're in, you know, early January. Season doesn't kick off until, you know, mid-Feb, early March. So yeah, just that final bit of base training before we start more race-specific intensities. But overall, I've really enjoyed Gran Canaria. I still think Tenerife's got the edge, if I'm honest, just in terms of, I think there is a little bit more variety, but people might disagree with that. I guess it depends on how well you know the places, but I can see the attraction of Gran Canaria totally. I think it's a little bit more forgiving as you ride out of the door, whereas Tenerife, you ride out the door and already you're probably into a steep climb. There's a bit more traffic as well in Tenerife that you need to negotiate depending on where you're staying, but if you're in sort of Los Cristianos, Las Americas or Adehi, then it is quite busy, so you do need to, yeah, often negotiate a little bit of local traffic, but that doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, overall I think we've found that some of the roads get closed here. Obviously there's quite a bit of rockfall, so that's definitely not helped, I guess, in terms of the optics of the place versus Tenerife, but they're very similar. There's no doubt about it. This, you know, some of the routes I'm riding and I'm just thinking, actually, this reminds me of Tenerife. But I think these are two of the best places to ride at this time of the year. You know, the weather, as you can see, blue sky, temperature's really nice, and yeah, overall it's the perfect climate to ride in. So yeah, overall I think I've enjoyed it. I think Charlie has. Unlucky for Ollie falling ill. It's not ideal for him, but these things do happen. Must have been something he caught on the plane, which is always a risk, I think, at this time of year, well, any time of year when you're on the plane. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the last ride. Just gonna have some breakfast, and we'll see how it goes. Let's test it. Jesus Christ. 4 hours in, 30-minute climb. Just about held 300 watts. Definitely feeling it now on this last day, day 6 of the camp. Just going to do hopefully a nice descent. It's quite blowing now. See, that's where we're going. That's where 4 hours in. And I think we've got one big climb left, which is about 8 miles. I don't know where that is, but hopefully got enough energy left to test it. So let's go. Day 6 completed, managed to get back in one piece. Had to negotiate a few tunnels, which is always a bit nerve-wracking, but it was really the only way back really, without having to go back up the mountain, which, to be honest, neither of us I think had the energy for. But overall, I'm really pleased with the 6 days that we managed to string together. some consistent, solid riding. Unfortunate for Ollie, he was ill, but that those things do happen. But I'm sure he'll bounce back quick. He always typically does. But maybe a lesson for people is that recovery and good nutrition and sleep. If you've not got all of those boxes ticked, then to train hard week in, week out becomes very difficult. So the thing that I say to a lot of people that I coach is, you can do the training, but it's what you do off the bike that is just as important. So yeah, just one to think about. In terms of the actual place to ride a bike, I think it's great. Some roads are could do with being a bit better, but on the whole, I think compared to the UK at this time of the year, or generally, in fact, it's a much better place to ride. We just don't have this sort of terrain and the climate to allow you to get out and do that sort of riding that really boosts your fitness. In terms of the stats, this is what we managed to accumulate over the course of the 6 days.
Oh, it's poo everywhere now. Oh, I bet it'd be fucking balls on him.
As you can see, we did encounter some sheep on our last day, which helped break the ride up, and also, it was a bit of humour for me and Charlie as we admired the size of those sheep's balls, which were massive. We were quite jealous of that. But yeah, going back to the riding, hopefully you enjoyed that vlog. Hopefully it's given you a taste of what Gran Canaria is like if you've never been there. If you have, maybe tell me some routes that we didn't do for next time, and also put in the comments any other favourite places you like to ride. I'm always looking for other locations to test the skills and endurance, and just take in the scenery. So if you like this sort of thing as well, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.